Hi, everyone. Welcome to Microbiology and Parasitology. I am Jomar Isan, and I will be your professor, your faculty in charge for this class for the rest of the semester. For this first meeting, we'll simply be talking about the course introduction and some important policies and reminders that hopefully will be helpful for you in order to do well and be successful by the end of the semester. So without further ado, let's begin with our discussion. We'll be looking through the description, the schedule, the objectives, outline, calendar, textbook, the how you're going to be graded, as well as the important house rules. Now, for the first thing that we'll be discussing about is about course description. Now, please take note, our class will be made up of both the lecture and also the laboratory. For the lecture, our course deals with the study of several organisms, namely bacteria, viruses, protozoan, fungi, and helminths. And we'll be looking at the characteristics, the pathogenicity, source, and the mode of transmission of these organisms. Our courses also will be covering the principles of how we are infected, how we can control the diseases and prevent them, as well as talk about human immunity. We'll also be talking about the impact of human health and environment, as well as the application of these microorganisms in industry. For the laboratory portion, it will be giving emphasis on activities that will be demonstrating the major concepts in microbiology. Particularly, the course is designed to develop your skills, including in microscopy, aseptic technique, staining methods, culture methods, and identification of organisms. Now, the schedule of our class is Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, 7:30 to 8:30 for our lecture, and for our laboratory, that will be Tuesday from 7:30 to 10:30. Well, supposedly. However, because of the pandemic right now, we are not allowed to meet face to face. So the mode of learning that we'll be having in our class will be what we call as asynchronous learning. So what we will be doing is that I'll be sending the files, the modules to your emails or to our FBA Messenger and also to our Google Classroom, and you will be doing the activities and reading assignments on your own. Sometimes there will be times that we'll be having synchronous meeting as well, and this will be for our discussion and for consultation or any question that you may be having. We'll try to answer them at those particular times. So that will be our schedule and mode of study. And for the outline, our whole semester will be made up of 4 modules. Each module will be divided into 4 weeks. For Module 1, which is entitled General Concepts in Microbiology, we'll be dealing about the invisible world, Unit 1, Unit 2, how we see the invisible world, and Unit 3, the cell parts, or the cell and the different parts that you will be finding inside of them. For Module 2, which is entitled Prokaryotes and Eukaryotes of Microbiology, we'll deal with the prokaryotic diversity as well as the eukaryotes of microbiology. The next 4 weeks, Module 3, Viruses and Biology of Microbes, will be looking at the acellular pathogens, and this will be inclusive of prions and viruses. We'll be looking as well at the microbial growth and physical and chemical agents that will help us in order to control these microorganisms. Module 4, we'll be discussing about microbes and humans. On Unit 9, Microbial Mechanisms of Pathogenicity, innate non-specific host defenses, environmental microbiology, and applied and industrial microbiology. So we'll be covering the whole of these topics by the end of our semester. And just to for you to take note, our course calendar, well, the whole class will run for 18 weeks, as you can see here, and this will just be your guide so that you may know what particular topic are we going to be discussing on what particular week. Now, just a few things that you need to be reminded of. On the ninth week, we'll be having our midterm examination, which means all of the topics discussed beforehand will be included in that exam. And on the last week, on 18, we'll be having our final examination, and this will also be the submission of your research video as well as your paper. We'll be discussing this a little while later. The textbook that we'll be using is Microbiology for Allied Students and also Microbiology by OpenStax. So these are open educational resources that you can find in the internet, and you can actually download them from these sites. So just take note of this and download the important textbooks that we'll be using for the rest of the semester. Now, your question might be, how are you going to be graded? So this is our grading scheme. Course discussion and quizzes will amount to 20%, the class activities will amount to 40%, and the midterm and final examination will be amounting to 40%, which is a total of 100%. Now, take note, the midterm and final examination will be, of course, the midterm will be 20% and the final exam will be 20%, which will total the 40% as you can see here. Now, for the class activities, we'll have projects, your research paper and video that we mentioned a while ago, the laboratory exercises, the class activities, assignments, and other requirements. So please take note, you have to submit everything on time, or you have to submit everything so that you will be getting a high grade for the semester for our class. Now there are several house rules, and take note of this. This will be helpful so that you will be able to do your best and also be reminded to be able to do what is right when we continue with our class schedule. So number one, participate actively in each discussion to maximize your learning. So you're expected to talk. You're expected to give your ideas and to give your opinions whenever we have our synchronous meeting or synchronous discussion. For number two, try hard to follow the course syllabus. Number three, submit activity sheets on or before their due dates. You will be duly informed and reminded about the deadline for each activity sheet. Now, because of the problems that we might be encountering because of problems with internet connectivity, the submissions will not be hard deadlines, but rather this will be soft deadlines. So it will be okay if you will submit a little bit late. But please take note that before the midterm examinations, you have to submit everything so that I will be able to check and we will be able to discuss. And then before the final examination, make sure that everything will also be submitted. So our deadlines are flexible. So I won't be too strict in the deadlines to give you enough time and to take note of the difficulty that you might be having because of internet problems. For number four, activity sheets should be written in English or Filipino. So you need to be grammatical and you need to write as effectively as possible. And of course, take note, everything that you write must be clear, it must have coherence, organization, and it must be concise as well. Number five, do your activity sheet assignment yourself and observe the ethics of scholarship. So you may discuss your work with each other, for example, during online study session or in study group off schedule, but most of the assignment you should be doing on your own. Number six, just a reminder that you need to cite those ideas that you took from other people so that you will not be, there will be no plagiarism that will happen. So in our institution, we have a policy, and plagiarism can be grounds for suspension or expulsion. So as much as possible, please do paraphrase and do not lift those ideas, especially not citing them. So this is an important policy that is given to us by our institution. Now take note, the bibliographies at the end of our assignment should be following the American Psychological Association. And as you can see here, this is where you can look for some information about how to write your citation in APA style. Number seven, Always keep a duplicate copy of your activity sheets in your file just in case you need to resubmit them. So it's possible that there may be some glitch in the LMS, or there may be some glitch in problems with where your files can disappear in the computer. So please make sure that you have multiple copies of your papers and assignments. So anytime that it will be needed, you can submit them. Now, for number eight, text messages and phone calls should be kept to a minimum and should be made only when necessary. So please take note, you can send your text and you can make your call, or you can post through the messenger from 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. from Monday to Saturday. And that will be the end of our discussion for today. So I'll be seeing you next week, next meeting, and I'm excited for the whole of the semester. And I hope that you are also excited as well. So I'll see you by then. And thanks for listening, and see you.